30. The place, the road to Titusville, where we find Nancy Drew behind the wheel of her blue roadster, pondering this question.
Are the Lilac Inn Cherry Pies as incredible as everybody says?
Today, we're gonna find out.
You ready to do this? First things first, you're going to need some cherries. We're using frozen cherries today, but you can use fresh. If you're using frozen, you might want to let them thaw for a few minutes. These are semi-thawed here. Then your first step, you're going to take 4 cups of these and put them in a pot on the stove over medium heat. Now we're going to need these to let some juice out, so we're just going to let that go covered for a few minutes until you see that they're starting to ooze juice. Not sure how many minutes this will take yet. We'll let you know as we go. Don't you think you're a tad overdressed for baking pies?
There's no such thing as overdressed for baking pies. I would rather be overdressed than underdressed.
Well, you're forgetting the fact that Emily literally wears a nightgown for the entire game.
Good thing I'm her mother.
Oh, you're a ghost.
Yes.
Hello. So the cherries have been going for about 5 to 10 minutes now, and they're starting to release a little bit of juice. So next, we're going to start adding our other filling ingredients. First of all, we're going to add 1 cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract. This is optional, but I do recommend it. And a few dashes, or about 1/8 teaspoon of cinnamon. So now we've got our flavors in there, but at this point we pretty much have cherry soup. And nobody wants cherry soup in their pie. So we have 4.5 tablespoons of cornstarch. I'm going to add just enough water in here to turn it into a paste, and then we're going to pour that in there as well. And at that point, we've got all our filling ingredients together, and we just want to cook it on the stove until the cornstarch makes everything get nice and thick and the sugar starts to dissolve. And then we'll be ready to start turning it into a pie. Depending on if you're using fresh or frozen cherries, this might be the right amount of cornstarch for you, it might not. You can add more cornstarch at this point if it's not getting as thick as you want it to. If your cherries have less juice and they're getting really, really thick, you can add a little more water if you need to. This point is making sure that the consistency of your filling is about how you want it to be when it's done. And you might need to turn your stove down just a little bit. I think we're where we want it to be now. So now we're going to let this cool off for just a few minutes so it's not actively boiling when we put it in our pie shell. So who am I in this one?
You
if you're Emily's dead mother.
You're Emily. Duh. Oh. Emily is Emily.
Oh. Emily is Emily. Hi, I'm Emily, and this is my dead mother. I see dead people.
Her name.
So in the meanwhile, let's talk pie crust. We're just using 1 twin pack of deep dish pie crust. We're going to go ahead and take one of our pie crusts and set it on a pan. We blend this one with parchment paper just so that if some of our cherries boil over and stick to the pan, we're not scraping burnt sugar off of our pan when we're done. So our pie filling has stopped bubbling. Now that it's cooled off just a smidge, we're going to go ahead and put it in our bottom pie crust.
Doesn't trust me to do anything with this coat on.
Because it's mine and I don't want it stained for life.
You can wash it.
So we've got that good to go. You probably could use a regular pie crust, but this is going to give us a little extra room so it doesn't bubble over so easily. So now we're going to throw just a little bit of flour on our counter, and we're going to take our second pie crust and flatten that out to make our top. So now that we've rolled this out a little, we're going to cut the second pie crust into strips about 3/4 of an inch wide. It doesn't have to be precise. So now we're just going to weave our strips into a lattice on the top of this pie. You don't have to do your pie crust, your top crust in strips. You can just leave it whole and put a couple air holes. You can cut a design into it. However you want to do your top crust is up to you, but we're doing the lattice style to make it look more game accurate. One reason to let your filling finish cooling off before you turn it into the pie, if you're doing a woven top, like we just found out, is it softened our top layer and our strip broke. So now that our lattice is ready, we're down to the last couple steps. We're going to take a fork and crimp the edges all the way around so that our top crust is fastened securely to our bottom crust and doesn't go anywhere. Once you've crimped your edges, you'll just take a knife and trim away any dangling bits of dough around the edges so it looks nice and clean. And one final step and we're ready to put it in the oven. We've taken an egg and beaten it, and we're just gonna brush the egg across the pastry on top so that it'll look all golden brown and gorgeous when it's done. It's ready to go in the oven. I love this. We've got the oven heated to 375 and we're gonna put it in there for about 40 to 45 minutes until the top is thoroughly golden brown. I stopped my dough. Time to check on it and see if it's done. It smells really good.
It looks gorgeous.
Now, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it's bubbling right now, so we're gonna let this cool for at least half an hour, preferably closer to an hour, yeah. Because this is very, very, very hot, but it smells great and it looks so pretty. And we'll be back as soon as it's cool enough to stick in our mouths. See you then.
And you're not a cat. You don't need to need things.
It feels really nice.
How do people with toys dance? Do they do like... My hair will fall if I get too excited.
It's sniffing my hair. It's time. It's time. It's time. You ready to try it?
I am.
Okay.
It has cooled sufficiently. It's still warm.
But warm pie is the best. You want it warm, just not hot. Here you go.
Cold pie.
You're
Yes,
also
I'd eat
whispering
cold
your
pie
name.
as well. But hot pie is nice too.
I have a cherry right here.
I'm a big crust lover, so.
It's really good. I could definitely see making some extra income on the side by selling these. People would definitely buy these.
Would you
good.
make another cherry pie?
I would make another cherry pie now that I know how to do it. Every single video, you fling food onto my floor.
I'll clean it up. Maybe.
You won't. So now again, we ask was it worth it? Would you travel back to the 1930s to try this pie?
Yeah. I don't know what they did. They did something.
They made pies
Let's go to pie party.
and tried to bend spoons with their mind.
That's hilarious.
That's it for today. Check out the recipe in the description box. Give it a try. Let us know how it goes. And we'll be back with another wonderful meal or recipe or item or whatever
I'm
the case
excited
may
for the
be.
next one. Actually, I'm kind of terrified, but excited as well. Are you terrified?
I'm terrified of my outfit for the next one.
I'm terrified.
If I'm remembering
eating
the order
next
correctly.
one. Your outfit is great. It's gonna be great. It's a secret.
Until next time. Bye.